department.
You're not taping, are you? Because I'm not taping. No, Rube's taping. Okay.
I'm
No.
not. My phone is off.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
First at 6, a troubling new chapter in our politically charged investigation. We're taking you inside a secret police meeting to expose a behind-the-scenes shadow investigation.
Experts say what you're about to see is highly unethical at best and at worst potentially criminal. Before we get to that tape, first some background. This is about the Phoenix protest case where protesters were charged as gang members. Because of our investigation, 30 cases have been dismissed, but police and prosecutors say they could still file new charges, so those cases are still open and active. 14 Phoenix officers are reassigned and under outside investigation. The county attorney's office also ordering its own outside investigation, and the lead prosecutor has been put on leave. This scandal is big. The stakes are high. So now that you know the basics, here's what we've just uncovered. There is a retired cop working behind the scenes, meeting with witnesses and getting inside information to protect the police and prosecutors who were under investigation. Even more, ABC15 investigator Dave Biskobing discovered current cops are helping him, and he has the tapes to prove it.
These protest cases are the subject of active criminal, civil, and outside investigations. So the fact there now appears to be an off-the-books backdoor investigation and that current cops are involved is a big deal. Now, this is a little complicated, so we're going to be very clear and take you through it step by step. It's March 4th inside Gilbert PD, and you're about to hear a meeting that 2 of the 3 participants did not want recorded.
You're not taping, are you? Because I'm not taping. No, Rube's taping. Okay.
I'm
No.
not. My phone is off.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Here's who you just heard. Gilbert Detective Terry Burchett, retired Phoenix Detective Clint Davis, and in the middle, Riley Behrens, a protester who was arrested and charged as one of the gang members. So why are they meeting inside Gilbert PD, and why is a Gilbert detective involved in Phoenix protest cases? That's where this story gets complicated, and we will get into that later. But first, let's talk about why they're meeting. Before the charges were all dropped, Riley agreed to testify against other protesters. So Burchett helped set up a meeting between Riley and this retired detective to see if he would still be willing to help.
I'll let you introduce yourself. And Riley's just been 100%.
First of all, I
Straight up.
appreciate it. So
Thanks.
look at me as a student, all right?
A student? Hardly. Again, Davis is a retired Phoenix gang detective. He's been retired for a few years, so he has no official involvement in the protest cases.
My only skin in the game is protection of the public and protection of officers. That's what I care about. And I care about April Sponsel.
Let's break that down. April Sponsel is the Maricopa County prosecutor who's on leave and under investigation because our reports proved she and officers presented clearly false information to a grand jury. Before the protest cases, she specifically worked on gang cases, and this retired Phoenix detective was a gang detective. He worked closely with Sponsel on cases going back years, and now he's working behind the scenes to protect his old colleague. So let's play that recording back and then let it play through.
And I care about April Sponsel.
I don't.
We don't know.
I don't. I'm sorry, I
What
don't.
happened? What changed?
I don't like her.
Yesterday.
I did, but
happened?
I don't know.
Well,
I didn't really care about
It's
her.
okay.
I think she's a jerk for charging me, I guess.
Oh, here's the thing.
Like, I gave you so much info, April, and
he
you're going to turn
doesn't
around
know-
and give me a...
He
oh.
doesn't know what I know about April and his attorney.
Okay.
Riley
What?
doesn't know.
What?
So he doesn't know that
So
April was
April
trying.
had your back the whole time.
And I
So
didn't know that till
April
recent.
was trying to contact your attorney and actually spoke to your attorney multiple times to get you worked out. It was not April, it was your attorney.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that. I had to have to hear it from the
So-
horse's mouth.
Now let's break down what you just heard even more. A retired Phoenix detective is working with an active Gilbert detective to have a secret meeting with a witness in an active criminal case. It's a case that's now the subject of 2 outside investigations because of gross misconduct. This retired detective is trying to protect his colleagues who presented lies to grand juries, and he has inside information about the case, including conversations between prosecutors and defense attorneys.
Should be looking into this.
That's a lot to process, so we spoke to Jared Keenan, an attorney with the ACLU and a former defense lawyer.
How serious is this?
It's incredibly serious. There potentially could be criminal, liability here.
Keenan says since the protest cases are still active, this needs to be investigated for potential witness tampering. And if it's not criminal, he says it reeks of corruption.
To conduct this sort of off the books
interview or meeting. To me, it's just like, how does that happen? How is that appropriate? I'm not sure that I can see a way that it is.
It's completely inappropriate.
Remember, after our reports, both Phoenix Police and MCAO ordered outside investigations into the actions of their officers and prosecutors. Those investigations were just launched in the past few weeks.
It's barely off the ground, and there are already police officers and potentially prosecutors, right, involved in this sort of clandestine, sort of underhanded shadow investigation.
And Clint Davis, the retired detective who should have no involvement in the case, admits he's seen inside evidence.
You seen the photos of their tattoos?
Yeah.
And he's asking for more information on the gang protest case.
So was there a legal observer that night?
And asking for more information on people who have had charges dismissed in other protest cases, like leading activist Bruce Franks Jr.
And does Bruce ever show up at these deals?
In multiple recordings obtained by ABC15, the detectives claim Clint Davis is just doing this on his own. Do you think that this is just some guy that wants to look into it, or do you think that doesn't really add up?
That doesn't really add up.
So finally, back to Gilbert PD and Gilbert Detective Burchett.
The most disturbing aspect, I think, is
This is a news clip from 1999, and here's what we know about her. She's a detective who's worked gang cases, and she's been on Gilbert's force for more than 30 years. Now, here's what we don't fully know yet. Why is she involved? Why did she set up this meeting? Other than Burchett, who else is involved in helping Clint Davis conduct this investigation to specifically protect cops and prosecutors? And finally, how high does this go?
There's no way that he just, because of curiosity, contacted Gilbert police and witnesses and started interviewing them, right? Somebody is either hired him or is directing him to conduct this investigation. And that's what the public needs to know.
I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
And breaking tonight, we just received a statement from the county attorney's office. A spokesperson writes that Clinton Davis was hired to provide an expert opinion on the case, but his role only lasted from February 4th to February 12th. That means a month later, Davis took inside case information, set up an off-the-books meeting with a witness in an active criminal case, and said his goal was to protect his colleagues. MCAO did not answer our questions about whether they would investigate this issue. Instead, they closed their statement by saying any questions should be sent to Clint Davis. As for Phoenix and Gilbert police, Phoenix says they had no knowledge or role in the meeting and will investigate any unlawful activity. Gilbert admits the meeting took place and that their detective helped set up the meeting. However, Gilbert denies any of it was inappropriate. Dave will continue to investigate, and you can catch up on all of his politically charged reports on abc15.com/protest.